Hello and welcome to the Instant Impact Event Show. I'm Cheryl Williams.
I'm CJ Williams. Hope you're having an awesome and fantastic day.
We want to welcome you guys to another episode, and today's topic is going to be on what?
Be the leader in your industry.
Yes, so that is what the topic today is going to be about.
Yes.
In the meantime, though...
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
cold in here.
It is.
It's a little...
Well, keep us up. Keep us excited.
You know how, like, we always say at events, we keep it really cold,
yeah.
right? So...
Well, up here, it's
It's
supposed to be
definitely
warm
in the
up
studio.
here.
It's a little chilly today. I got some goosebumps on top of some goosebumps,
I
but
can keep you warm if you want.
I need a blankie here in a minute. But same thing. If you don't know, at events you want to keep the temperature chilly.
Chilly.
And see,
Chilly.
my tip is
68,
usually
67.
when I'm wearing
68.
like my skirts or dresses or different, there's a lot of skin that's still showing,
Exposed.
and so I bring like a little shawl or a little blanket or something.
Not a coat.
No, definitely not a coat. It's not
No.
cute. Doesn't really go with the vibe and the theme.
No, unless it's a cute jacket.
But that still doesn't help the legs. So when you're sitting or standing, then you can have this cute shawl, and it have different colors. But that's been my tip. So keep your room cold. Oh, and the reason, because we say certain things, if we don't
Yes.
back it up with the reason, then we
Yes.
get questions as why. Why does the room need to be cold?
Right. Well, keep it warm, and you're just listening to the speaker go on and on and on. You might get a little,
A little
and then
sleepy.
start dozing. Put your feet out, and then your head goes.
It's the nod,
Yeah, or-
It's when you look out and you see bobbing heads.
Or like this.
That
Honey.
you've got one of two challenges.
Yes.
One is your speaker is boring as heck, or you are boring as heck if you're the speaker, or it's after lunch,
Takes practice.
it's warm and toasty in the room, and everyone thinks it's a good time to take a nap.
Yes.
And so-
definitely after lunch.
Yeah. So you want to keep the room on the cooler side,
Brisk.
very brisk, because, and another thing is people will complain. They'll come and be like, it's so cold. Can you turn it up? Oh my gosh. So if you would,
Yeah, we'll go
in
to
your
all the staff.
in your pre-event communication, you want to let them know that you do keep the room chilly.
Yes.
So that they can bring a coat
the
or
next
a little
day,
blanket
or after lunch or-
something. But
Yep.
we let them know in the pre-event communication too that the room stays cold, so we can kind of prevent that from happening before they even get there.
Yeah, let them know once they sit down and you're going over everything.
Yeah. Well, and I would even let them know, like in emails or messages way before the event, because some people are coming from out of town, and if they're coming, from a place that's warm or it's summertime, or you're not thinking about those things, you won't have that attire there with you.
Yes.
So dress warm. You can still look cute. Bring a blanket. Bring a shawl, a coat, something.
Right.
And
Guys, you can have your sports jacket on,
Yeah.
so you can give it to your
you
lady.
you can have a little blanket too. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. So that's the tip of the day is keep it brisk, keep it cool, and even like right now, it's a little chilly, but we're ready to go. We're not falling
Yes.
asleep, even
No.
though it's later in
No.
the day. We are raring
Right.
to
We
go.
get up early. We get our workouts in. Yeah, we're
You
ready.
got to have your priorities, and self is the priority. You know what I
Yes.
mean? If you're
Yes.
not
Take
taking
care
care
of
of
what you
yourself,
need to.
how can you take care of everyone else? And that goes into speaking and having events and being on stage. There's a lot of energy that goes into that.
Yes.
There's
So
a
no
lot of
partying the night before, knowing you have to speak, be on stage.
And-
Get your rest. Be
water,
rehearsed.
hydrate, all
Yes.
those. So we actually have multiple tips today. We're just
Yes,
full of tips.
going,
Maybe
going.
we should have a podcast that is like our top tips. Ooh.
We could.
Would you guys like that? I think that would be good. So
Awesome.
maybe we'll have a podcast here soon, or a show, or a
Yes.
and that's the other thing is we're on multiple platforms. So
Yes.
whether you're listening to this in audio form on a podcast, whether you're watching this on video format, we're all over the place.
Yes,
And
YouTube. Yep.
that comes into today's topic is you want to be omnipresent. And when we say
Yes.
omnipresent, you want to be everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
And the
Yes.
more that you're everywhere, the more that you come across as the
expert and the leader.
Yep. So you
Yes.
want to be the leader in your industry. You want to be the expert. You want to be the person that they go to and they're like, wow, there's so much information
Right. You know what you're talking about.
coming from this person or these people. I want to learn more. I want to go to an event. I mean, if I get this much information from them, And you have to look at, where are you disseminating content? Are you doing on social media? Are you doing it on your website?
Yes.
Do you have a show that you're doing? If not, maybe that's something to look into. The more that you can put yourself out there,
Yes.
and become the expert by disseminating your knowledge and expertise, the better.
Yep.
And that's really what you're doing at your event. And so
are.
the more information you can give before, the more you're going to have people come and say, well, man, they've given me all this information before
Even
my
before
event.
I step through the door. Yep.
Right. And so today we're going to talk about, like, how are you the leader in your industry? And even right now, if you don't feel that you are, that's okay.
Right.
How can you become?
It takes a day for you to do multiple videos. You know, turn the camera on. Just start videoing yourself in anything you want. It doesn't have to be on what you specialize in. Just start talking and being personable.
You want to know a secret? What we do? Shh, don't tell anyone. What we do is we batch content.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. We
Yes.
said it. We don't sit down every single day of the
No.
week
No.
and look. I mean, I don't always put on a face, and when you've got lights and camera and it's action, I mean, you gotta get
be
up
ready.
to that, right? And so I would rather do that. Know that we're shooting content, or we're recording, or we're doing whatever we're doing
Yes.
certain days, because then we have other things that we need to focus on, right? But you don't want your content piece to fall off. There's a time and a place for everything. And so instead of saying, you know what, I need to put out a post on social media today, or I need to write a blog today, or I need to do a podcast, or I need to do a video,
Just
or I need to do a
batch.
clip.
Just batch.
The more you can batch it,
Already have it done.
the better. So that way, when you're in that recording atmosphere, mode,
Just
phase.
give yourself enough time.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing, is give yourself
A lot of time.
ample time. Like, don't be like, and that's the one challenge that we have. Sometimes we try to stick it into like a rigid time slot.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not feeling it, right? I mean,
No.
I'm not feeling like I'm ready to go on camera. I'm not ready to talk about this topic.
And that's okay.
It is.
Don't beat yourself up about that.
And so you've got to know that if you're trying to stick it in amongst all these other things you have going on, and then it's like, okay, now it's time to be on camera, it's time to be focused.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you need to set aside the time.
Yes.
You need to work up to that. You need to know.
Right.
And maybe you don't feel comfortable on camera. Okay. That's
takes
something
practice.
that you need to work on, because if you're going to have your own events, if you're going to be a speaker, if you're going to be out there in front
Coaching
of
or
people,
doing anything else
right?
like that.
You
Yep.
need to get more and more comfortable with who you are, and with stepping into that role as being the leader, being the expert,
And
being
watching yourself.
and being the person that's full of knowledge. And that way people will start coming to you more and saying, wow,
Yes,
the
we have
information
Yes.
that I glean, that I get, that little tidbit, that little takeaway
Right. And that
is
thank
key.
you. When somebody says thank you for that information, you know, makes you a little excited that you're helping somebody
And
and giving
It's
you
o-
feedback.
And it's okay sometimes if it's crickets. You don't stop because one day you posted one thing, or you wrote one blog, and you don't
Keep it
have
going.
thousands of people coming to your website, or thousands of downloads or views, or thousands of likes. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's not a one and done. It's a continual
Yes.
thing. And the key to this is consistency, right? You don't build a business and build a following and build a bunch of attendees that want to come to your events, or people who want to watch your content or go to your website, or whatever trainings you're on, all those things overnight. We're playing the long game here, right?
Yes.
It's not the short game. It's not,
Not a week or two.
right, how many dances can I do? How many likes can I get? That's not taking you where you want to go. And you
No, it's
also
not.
have to stay focused on what is the end result that you're looking for. What are you doing this for? And so
That has to be a purpose and an ending.
it's easy to get lost in like, well, this is going
this.
viral, or this is the trend, or this is the thing, right? And it's like, but is that on brand for you? Is that,
And most likely it's not at the time.
does that make you more of an expert? Now, that doesn't mean you have to be stodgy and be like, I'm never gonna do this right here, right? Have fun with it, but be real and stay true to
Yes.
yourself, your brand, what you're putting out there. You could put other things out there that still show, I mean,
Right. Shows you.
right. I mean, if you're a parent, you could talk about your kids or parenting things. If
Yes.
you're You know, you have a spouse or a significant other. That's
Yes.
stuff that you can include because people like to do business and interact with
somebody they know,
like and trust. And the way that they're going to know, like, and trust you is by you showcasing who you really are.
And watching you.
And not sugarcoating it, not putting a filter on all the time and be like, well, this is the only thing I'm going to share because that's my industry, that's my thing. Sometimes people want to say, well, where's the depth? Who are you? What do you, and so they get to know, wow, okay, I can say that person has children, or they have dogs, or, you know, they live in the city, or they, you know, they're out in the rural, whatever it is. Be you and become an expert in your field and your industry and be the leader, but also let people get a glimpse of who you are. Now, that does not mean that you need to show every area and aspect of your life.
Some things you keep private.
You don't need to. You don't need to put it all out there for everyone to see. But you could list off a few things. Maybe you sit down and say, okay, what are the things that I feel comfortable enough sharing or letting people in? Where are the areas in my office or my house or that I will let people see? Do not show it all. There's no reason to,
Don't
right?
take them in your garage and show all your cars or your nice house, because they'll track you down and they'll rob your butt.
That is true. They could. And so
And hurt somebody in your family.
you want to leave a veil of privacy and security there, but also let people in on what you're wanting to let them in on. And it does not need to be everything, but it can be a select few things. You don't have to pimp your children out there all the time and be like, you know, this is who I am, unless that's your
get
brand.
them all dressed up first.
And that's what you do, then go for it, right?
That's okay.
But if you don't feel comfortable with that, or your children don't want to do that, then you don't need to. If you're wanting to, you know, put the business side front and center, which it should be, and give tons of value, but still let people into what is your routine? What do you do? What makes you tick? Who are you exactly? Then you can give a little bit more of that. Maybe you have
not everything.
But not everything, right? And by being the leader and by being the expert, that comes across by consistency, right? It's not a flash in the pan, a one and done. It comes from you giving value all the time by giving and
not
showing
once
up.
a week, once a month. It's going to have to be a couple days a week. At least.
And the more, and if you can
less.
show up daily, great. I mean,
Good for you.
how many days are there in the week? There's 7, right? And maybe you don't want to post anything on the weekend, or maybe you know you
have
reserve
5.
a day, so you have 7 max, or you know 5 if you only want to do during the week. That's fine.
Or start batching.
So if you could record or put together or write or something, 5 things, you have your content for the week, right?
There you go.
Another thing is, if you could record or batch or write 10 things, then you have it for 2 weeks, right? Or there's 30 days in a month. If you could put together 30
Daily.
pieces of content, then you have a whole month taken care of. So you have to start looking on your
That's
calendar.
the best route.
It is.
Because it makes it easier for yourself.
And because the
And you
challenge,
don't have to think about it.
that's it.
And stress out about what's coming up.
What am I going to post tomorrow? Oh my gosh, what am I going to put out there? What am I going to say? How am I going to say it? I mean, if you could,
Just like, what are you going to have for dinner?
yeah.
Constantly have to think about it. What
I mean,
are we gonna
if you on Sundays, you plan out your menu for what you're having for the week,
better for the week.
and everybody knows, and you can get your groceries, you can do your shopping,
Yes.
you can have it, and then you
Prep
don't have
time,
that
you already
constant,
have it done.
what's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's
Over
for dinner?
every
and so
day.
you know, right?
Yep.
Same thing with your content. Same thing with being an expert. Same thing with anything. It's about consistency. It's about showing up. It's about being reliable. People like reliability.
Yes.
If you're gonna be the expert, it's not because you said something years ago. It's because you continually you're showing up all the time and you're front of mind, right?
It's not once a year.
No, or even once a month. In the world that we live in now, content is coming at all the time, and if you're not someone who is in front of your audience, they're gonna forget about you.
They will.
I mean, if you're, you know, a realtor and they're looking to sell their house, but you haven't posted anything
or houses
in
or anything.
umpteen, you know, days or weeks, they're going to go to someone else who, if you're a plumber, if you're a doctor, if you're an
keep
attorney,
it up.
if you, like, you've got to put that, if you're a CPA, or those are all professions, right? People need those things all the time. But then
Constantly talk about
sometimes
it.
there's like, yeah, I thought I knew somebody. No, I'm
I
gonna go find
forgot.
somebody else. Or,
Yeah.
or they ask for referrals because they totally forgot over here of
About
what's
you.
going on. Maybe you're a hairdresser, or you know, someone who
show pictures
designs
of what you did.
homes, and someone's looking for that. Whatever the case may be,
show it all.
you want to constantly be out there.
Yes.
You've got to be front and center. You've got to be top of mind. You've got to be having those conversation points. And
showing, being on stage. You know, you can show pictures from stage. You can show pictures from your audience. You can go live right on stage.
Yeah.
People love that. Turn the phone, everybody, say hello.
Yep.
There you go.
And you're going to have your raving fans that are sitting there, and they're going to hoot and
They're
holler.
gonna scream and
then
jump up and
they're
down.
going to take that piece of content because they
And
saw
use it
their
for
little head in it
themselves.
somewhere. They knew they were over, off to
Yes.
stage left,
Yes.
fifth row back. They're like, there's me, that's me. And they're going to reshare it and see.
And it's gonna
That's
spread.
where it comes out.
And
Like,
it's fun.
it's social proof, though, too.
Yes,
That's right.
it is.
Oh, so-and-so was, what's
He
that
wasn't
about?
lying about it. He's on stage working.
Tell me more about that, right? And so when you can put things out there and then other people are sharing it because they're a part of that, everyone likes, social proof and validation, and they were there and they did this. And so get other people involved
Yes.
and let them start spreading your message, let them start spreading the word for you and really getting out there.
Right. And communicating with the people who send you messages. Saying hello, how are you? Did you like this subject? Because they will respond. They will reach out and just respond.
And that's the other thing is people are so busy nowadays.
Yes.
And yet the busyness does not mean productivity. And there's a major difference between just shuffling your feet back and forth and I'm just busy, and going in a circle like this versus
The wheel.
being productive and saying, today, these are the tasks that I'm accomplishing.
Yep.
And then you have so much more time in your day so that you can respond back to people. You can, actually feel like a person
And
that
part
can
of something.
that can talk and be like, wow, there's an actual human being. I mean, I was messaging with someone yesterday, and they're out there, they're doing their thing, and yet I shot them a little message, and then they shot a message back, and then I shot them another message, and I was like, oh, well, look at that. Here it is. It's the weekend. We just had a little downtime and talk back and forth, and it's like, okay, that was great.
Yes.
It's building
Those relationships.
the relationships, and this is anything. You're in a relationship
No matter
business.
what you're doing, build those relationships.
No matter what you're speaking on, no matter what you're coaching on, no matter what your thing or widget or business is, right?
No matter what your business. It's all about the
Everything
relationships.
is a relationship. It's not just about, how many this and how many that. It's like, how many connections, genuine connections can you make today?
Yes.
How can you get up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to reach out to 5 people today and just say hello, how you doing? Check on them, right?
And that will be loved and perceived well.
Right, because it's a lot of times, birthdays, holidays, or you need something. That's when you hear from people. It's like they need something. It's a birthday or holiday.
Correct.
If you can reach out when you don't need something,
We talk about that a lot.
and it's not a birthday or holiday, it has more meaning, right? When everyone's saying Happy New Year, and you're like, yep, Happy New Year, it's like they got a million of those, right? But if
Copy and paste.
January 28th or February 13th or, March 26th, you actually send someone something and say, hey,
Yes.
how are you? Well, the whole bandwagon has already stopped because it's not a
Hope you have an
holiday.
Awesome week.
Right.
Awesome day.
And just, I want to,
Hello, how's your family?
and I was thinking about you and I just wanted to say
There
hi.
you go.
Like,
There you go.
That's it. It's that simple. Like, you were on my mind. I wanted to reach out and say hello, see how you're doing, and is there anything I can do to help you? Is there
it.
any way I can be of service?
Yes.
That's it. It's like, and then they get this message, and text messaging is great. If you don't have the person's, then you can DM them or send them an email.
Yes.
However you can
Even
communicate
email.
with them, but do that. Don't let, and how long does that really take to pick 5 people
Not long at all.
and just shoot them off a message, right? And if you want to get really, if you want to double that, then do 10. And if you think about if you reached out to 10 people a day
Go down
for the
your contact
whole
list.
year, you're reaching out to thousands of people.
Yeah, they
right?
haven't heard from you in years.
That you're making those connections. And maybe it's someone you haven't talked to in a while. That's okay.
Yes.
Send them a message and just say, hey, I was
Hi.
thinking of you. How you doing?
Yes. Right. They'll be surprised and it'll make their day.
Yep.
Their day.
And
for
so
sure.
the more, and that's why being the leader, being an expert, being the go-to person
Yep.
in your field is by doing these little things that other people aren't willing to do, right?
It means a lot.
It's the little, it's not everyone knows the big stuff, right? It's like, okay, we did that. But what about the small, granular little pieces? But if you think about it like this, a granule, everyone knows what sugar looks like, right? Or salt. And when they're small little granules, or even sand, right? When they're small little granules, they don't look like much. But when you keep piling on another
Right.
little piece and another little piece, well, then you have a teaspoon, and then you have a tablespoon, and then the tablespoon turns into a quarter cup, and the quarter cup turns into a half cup, and the half cup turns into a full
Builds
cup,
and
right?
builds and
And so
builds.
you're building your cup, you're filling your cup, but you're also filling other people from one little granule
Yes.
of something. And so that one little communication you're setting up, that one little relationship, that one little hello, the
Yes,
smile.
It will mean a lot.
You know, just walking
Just
down the
smiling
street,
to somebody and
smile
saying
and wave.
hello.
You know,
Hi.
how's your day? Hey,
How are
how's it
you?
going? Like,
And people go, great.
it's like, oh,
Oh,
wow,
okay.
they noticed me, they saw me.
Yes.
People want to be seen,
Yes.
and they want to be
I am
acknowledged.
here.
And that
Yes.
way, the little thing. So think about it, every day you're making little deposits, right? You're picking up your little pieces, and how can you build an overflowing of relationships of people that are like, wow, you genuinely care. And that's see, being a leader, people are like,
build
well,
up.
people are like, well, to be a leader, I have to do. It's like I got to crap
you
do it.
don't.
No, you don't. It's
You don't have to
it's
crack anything but yourself
it's about
for even saying it.
it's about the little granular details on a consistent basis. Now, this is not a once a week, once a month, once a year.
No.
It's about the
Do it every other day,
consistency.
every day.
Just like
Just
putting out
one
your
person.
content
Start with
consistently.
one. Start with one person.
Yep. Putting out your content consistently. Having events consistently. Speaking consistently.
Yes,
Getting in
not
front
once
of
a
the
year.
camera consistently. Talking to people consistently. Whether you're, working out consistently, reading consistently. It's like having meetings consistently.
Yes,
It's all
routine.
about consistency in
Yes.
everything that you do.
What's in your routine?
And the consistency over time builds that routine, and it turns you into you have a strong,
Yes.
solid foundation to build on.
Yes.
So that's how
That's
you
it.
become the leader. That's how you become the person that's omnipresent, always there,
Yes.
always in front and center and top of
Yes.
mind.
And smiling and caring about others. Not the grouchy look in your face like you just woke up and no coffee.
I don't.
Not you.
No, I don't need coffee to smile. I can smile every day without coffee or with coffee. Coffee's
You
good.
have tea. You have tea.
I do. I might need some coffee though soon. Oh,
yeah.
okay. So we're going to conclude this in a second, but I have to give a little shout out to CJ over here because he makes the best cold brew coffee. That's the only kind of coffee I'll drink. It has to be cold brew. And it's got to have a little bit of stevia in it, sweeten it.
Yep.
And then it's got to have some frothed,
Froth.
either cream
Yes.
or half and half. It's at the top. And then you drink that. Oh, it's better than any Starbucks you've ever had.
Yes.
It's delicious. So when you ever see him, you got to ask him what his recipe is for cold brew coffee with cold foam or cold cream fluffed
Yes.
at the top. It's like
Heaven.
clouds. It's heaven on clouds that you just drink and sip down.
Yes.
So that is my shout out for the day.
Oh,
and
thank you, honey.
you're welcome. And then in the meantime, be thinking about
Yes.
how can you be doing these little actions,
Be the leader.
right? How can you become the expert? How can you be omnipresent? How can you
Yes.
reach out to someone today and,
Daily.
and make their day? Right? By you doing some things, you're making someone else's
Yes.
day. And then what we always want you to do at the end is it's not enough to listen or to watch to what we're saying. We want you to
Please
take
implement.
action. We
Yes.
want you to gather something. So when you're done watching or listening to this, sit down for a minute or two and just say, okay, what is the key takeaway that I got out of this, right? It's not enough to listen.
Yes.
We need to do. You need to get into action.
Yes.
So take one or two things from the conversation that we just had and start
Yep.
putting them into use, and then let us know. Like,
Yes.
how did that go?
So
Did you
for
get out of
all
your...
your speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs?
Yep.
Implement.
Yes.
Listen. Share.
And
Please
sometimes-
share what we have.
We have to take a dose of our own medicine, right?
Yes.
When we're out there teaching and training and instructing and helping, it's like, you need to do this and you need to do that. But sometimes we need to take our own medicine and actually be like, you know what? I need to do that. We need to implement these things. I need to
Correct.
actually take action consistently to get these things done. So think about, how are you going to implement this information so that your time was spent wisely?
Yes.
You gathered some information and we're putting it to use. And every time you're listening to, our show, that's the mindset we want you
And
to
take
have.
notes.
What can you put to use? And yes, be taking notes or jotting something like, oh, You know what? I'm going to come back to
It's a
that.
key point.
That's something I want to implement. That's something I'm going to do. And not just say, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I like that. But actually get on a roll of doing, being. And you'll be amazed. The momentum starts building when you start taking this here and this from over here and this over here. And we have multiple shows that we put out a week. So, you know, we always have a couple topics, and then we have our Q&A session that we put out there as well. So be looking for that, but don't just be, when's the next one? When's the next one? Don't just be a junkie of absorbing the information, but not actually putting it into use. It goes one in one ear and out the other. It's like implement, take action. And then we love hearing from you. We want to hear,
we love it.
You know, what are your wins? What are your successes? We want to celebrate.
Smile.
We want to celebrate you and, you know, your success. So let us know, you know, what are you implementing?
Don't hesitate.
What are you doing? What questions do you have? How can we, you know, be of service and help you? That's what we're here for. That's why we do this show.
Reach out now.
Yeah. Type us a little message, you know, whether you find us on social media or, you know, our
YouTube,
website or, you know, wherever you come to find us, let us know, because we love feedback.
And we want to serve you.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
We are, and we're your biggest cheerleaders too. So let us cheer for you. You know, tell us what you're doing and how we can, you know, be of service, how we can help. And, you know, the most important thing is let us cheer you on and root for you and encourage you. We all need more cheerleaders in our lives. So that's what we're here for. We'll do a little cheer. You know what? We need to get some little pom-poms. Yes. And then we could put together a cheer. Go, woo. Remember, like, go fight. Let's win the night. You know what I mean? Yeah, woo. So we'll come up. If you have any ideas, don't laugh. It's a good idea. If you have any ideas for a cheer, we'll have to get some like white and like gold and green like pom-poms, you know, to match everything's got to be on brand, right?
Yes.
So we'll think of that. If you have any ideas for a cheer, we'll be over here.
It's cool for me to do it too. Not just Cabbage Patching or something like that.
But that's what you're doing right now.
I know, for myself.
So again, let us know. We're an open book of you know, ideas and possibilities over here. So we're always looking for a way to add some more fun into things that make you guys smile. If you smiled or laughed today, hey, it's a win for us. So
there you go.
And remember, for events, life, business, it only takes an instant to make an impact. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.